Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I want to share my thoughts on demo number 2 for Strangers in Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. I had the privilege of playing this ahead of the demo's public release, so big thanks to Square Enix for allowing me to do so. This demo will be available to all of you between October 1st at 4 AM Pacific, basically after you see this video, and October 11th at 7:59 AM Pacific, with an extra week to allow to fill in the gameplay survey again, in case you have something you want the devs to know. Now the footage you're seeing here is all B-roll footage, so expect a demo playthrough on my channel soon as well. I'm going to do it after it goes live. Anyway, let's compare demo number 2 to the first demo and see what's been improved. So as a refresher of my opinion on demo number 1, I was actually a pretty big fan of it. Like many, I was skeptical when we saw that first trailer, but the premise got me to try the demo, and boy, did I have a good time. It's fast, action-packed, and brings a ton of Final Fantasy themes and elements to the forefront of the combat. A job system, skill trees, leveling, armor, weapons, magic, and of course, classic Final Fantasy enemies. Definitely give that initial review a watch, because it'll cover a lot of things that I'm probably not going to touch upon too much in this second demo review. I'm glad to say that demo number 2 continues the great start from demo number 1, allowing you to replay the first level if you didn't play demo number 1, while also including a new one, a forest where you manipulate weather to open and close different paths as you venture through it. There are also new, dangerous enemies that require new tactics, including elementals, harpies, Sahagin, and a lot more. It was a completely different experience from the first level, a welcome change up from that first damp, dark Shrine of Chaos. On top of that, demo number 2 has some new jobs, advanced jobs, and weapon types to mess around with. Monk brings its fist weapons, buffing themselves and stringing together attack chains to buff themselves even further. This was my favorite, and I definitely intend to use it through more demos and the full release. There was also the Thief and their daggers, which had the unique ability of stealing attacks from enemies. Normally you have to soul shield specific attacks in order to use them against your opponents, but Thief can steal a single use of these skills, opening up this option a bit more frequently. Then there was the Red Mage, a sword-wielding magic user with a mix of offensive and defensive spells, just as you'd expect. I love taking this as my second equipped job to swap over and give myself things like Protect, Shell, and Regen, or to punish certain enemy types. It could also chain spell offensive skills to really abuse magic vulnerability on enemies. Then there was the Knight, which was like a tank. It would charge in with its sword and shield, and it could protect itself further with a Blessing of Light. And then there was White Mage, a support-focused healer effective at buffing allies, and also coming with a few offensive options as well. I'd assume they're effective against undead, but I didn't get around to using this all that much. Now there were also new base jobs like I mentioned earlier, and those do come with their own unique skills as opposed to the advanced jobs, but I spent the entirety of my time without using any of the base ones. I did notice that several advanced jobs require you to actually unlock them by playing through and earning the skills through several base jobs, encouraging you to keep things fresh for yourself to unlock more options. So as you can see, tons of variety, and to top it all off, the second demo even has a multiplayer functionality. Now I didn't get to test this myself, but I wondered if this game would have that sort of functionality somewhere down the line. Just seemed like something to expect given Team Ninja's history. This makes more support-focused roles usable in solo play, but also great for online play with your friends or fellow strangers. The level 2 boss was also a treat, encouraging some enemy management, elemental weakness exploitation, and arena awareness. A very different encounter from the boss in the Chaos Shrine, but a very welcome one at that. There was even a side quest that asked you to take out a bunch of waves of enemies, ending with both the level 1 and 2 boss fights back to back. So the game's definitely looking to fill you up on content on top of just the story and new missions. Speaking of missions, as many suspected would be the case with Team Ninja being the developers, you will actually go from mission to mission through a mission select screen. So you won't just be in a continuous open world going from zone to zone. This is hit or miss depending on who you ask. I really enjoyed the system in Nioh, but of course I would have also enjoyed a fully open world as well. Either way, I'm just glad the combat is fun. Now back in demo number 1, the feedback suggested that most people wanted to see graphical improvements to the game, myself included, especially given the capabilities of latest gen consoles. Unfortunately, I don't know how much my opinion really helps in the matter for this video. I was playing the game remotely, and that heavily affects the quality, though I did notice some better clarity despite this in the Chaos Shrine itself. And if I could tell that through the remote play, then maybe it's even better than I suspect it is. The second level was sometimes overly bright on the other hand, the sun beaming down at times where maybe I just wished that it wouldn't. Fortunately, other than that, it seemed to me like they had been working on improving this, something that was difficult to tell, but I really tried to look for it. Again, my opinion is just going to be a bit skewed on this due to the method I had to play it. Hopefully when I play it at home, I get a better idea of how it's improved, so definitely watch my playthrough video when I release that. And to top it all off, there were some tooltip and tutorial updates to help with the clarity about some things, which I definitely appreciated. I do think there's still too much unusable loot, but I did get to speak with some of the producers and directors of the game, and they said they are going to implement a system for unwanted loot to help give it value sometime later in the game's development. I'll talk more about that in my video that goes over the contents of that interview. Oh, and I almost forgot to include there is another party member in this demo, but I'm not going to show you the cutscene in which you obtain them, and I'm not going to tell you much about them. Just know that there is a fourth party member now. So after the contents of demo number 2, I'm waiting on demo number 3. I just love the way that Team Ninja does this. It's such an interactive way to get to be a part of improving a game without just making it feel like there's this early access open beta that's available all the time. You basically get to see the game in an improved state, give your feedback, and then see it again the next time after that. And it just means that I don't have to wait this entire time only having the one demo to play. I get drip fed a little bit more content, and I appreciate that Team Ninja does it this way. I'm still very excited for Stranger in Paradise after playing demo number 2, and now I'm just thinking about when is demo number 3. With that, that's going to be a wrap from my thoughts on demo number 2 for Strangers in Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Thank you again to Square Enix for giving me the opportunity to play this before the demo released, and I hope all of you are going to try it out in the time that it'll be available. With that, I'll see you in the next video, and until next time, take care.